Good evening, humans. Tyrannosaurusmoth here, and tonight we're taking a look at the Zero Set Easy Motion V-Rex Dark Moon Queen and Shadow Monarch figures from Nanmu Studio. Let's do this. Aesthetically speaking, both of these figures are actually kind of stunning. Like, just really good details. I loved the Smart Series Carnotaurus that Nanmu Studio put out last year, and this continues that, and I think it improves upon it. We're actually going to look at the Queen first, just because there's a little bit more going on, and yeah, the sculpt is the same pretty much all around for both of them, and there are some fantastic details here, especially with the different types of scales. Obviously got kind of more of the crocodilian sort of scales here on the back. Comes down to, you know, some smoother scales here at the sides, and then at the bottom you get kind of more of a skin style texture. So some very nice stuff, and especially with the Queen, you do get that really nice, like almost like black here at the top. That comes down to a really nice deep amber, and then this cream here for the underbelly, and just it transitions very, very nicely. It just gives this really nice dynamic look to it. I love it. This is the one that I was definitely getting. I was definitely getting both, but they look fantastic. And for the Queen, we do have a green eye. I don't know why this isn't focusing here. Maybe we need more light. Increase that a little bit. So focus. There we go. So we can see, get the kind of green eye. The pupil's actually painted very, very nicely as well. Mouth is amazing. Like the way they did the teeth are just, it's spot on. It's exactly what it needs to be inside. You can see that tongue. That is not separate. Actually, I just noticed that that's kind of like lopsided in there, which is interesting. But it's nice, you know, kind of wash going over the mouth too to bring out all those details. And yeah, just look great all around. So yeah, just fantastic work. And come down to the feet. You can see there, the claws, nice. Again, clean paint all around. This doesn't, the Smart Series Carnotaurus I thought kind of had a little bit of a softness to some of the paint application. That is not the case here. So that is the Queen, and then looking at the Monarch, this is more pretty much spot on with what was seen in the King Kong movie. And you know, the head sculpt is slightly different here, where we got some, you know, kind of gashes and scars. We get the black sclera with the red, not pupil, the red iris going on. Jeez, I cannot talk today, sorry. And then, you know, most of the body is just this kind of very, very, very dark green. It looks awesome, obviously very, very nice for camouflage in the jungle. And then the kind of cream colored underbelly, and yeah, just really cool looking sculpt. And then mouth, same thing. Tongue is a little offset here as well. This is a little offset, but more centered than my my Dark Moon Queen. There we go. Like looking at the names. But yeah, still excellent sculpt and attention to detail here. Just a really, really cool touch. And then the feet here, obvious because you're seeing it. We do get, you know, kind of these bigger scales painted with more of that kind of yellowish tone. And yeah, it's really nice all around. Oh, the bottom of the feet are sculpted as well. So again, just sculpt for days. Just really fantastic looking figures. Getting into accessories, we get the exact same thing that we saw with the Smart Series Carnotauruses, where it's just a stand. So yeah, we just get this kind of hexagonal base with the 3 slots, and then the arm with these 3 different nodes, and then the arm up here that opens, so obviously you can tighten or loosen those as you need. And yeah, again, the base is a little too small to really do anything, but I mean, I guess you can hold the figure up in certain poses if you need to, if you kind of get the balance right. So yeah, that'll do it, and that'll do it for accessories. Articulation, balance here are actually really nice and fun, just like they were with the Carnotaurus figures. However, there's definitely more weight to account for here, especially because this is a long figure. So yeah, I think they handled the balance very, very well. There's some tensity issues with some of the joints, but I mean, that's going to happen, especially over time. But getting into the finer points and just the nitty gritty of it here, we do get an articulated jaw, so we can open up that much. close pretty much all the way. Then we get a ball joint, ball joint, ball joint here in the neck, and the head for this one definitely loosened up a lot once I heated the figure up. So something to be aware of, but again, a little more heat and then just add a little bit of, water-based polyurethane or any other, your joint tightener of choice, and that should be fine. So we get up about that far, we get down about that far. I do wish we straightened out a little bit more here, just the sculpt kind of runs into itself. Then we get some really nice side to side. And then my favorite, because these are ball joints, we actually get some really nice tilt. So if you want kind of that curious look, you can get that, and that's fantastic. So then we get to the arms and ball joints here at the shoulders. Not a ton of range, but not that you really need it, but it is there and worth noting. You're gonna run into the sculpt a lot too, so worth noting there. We do get a single hinge here at the elbow. So we're coming to just before 90, can fully straighten out. There should be a little bit of rotation there, but again, you're kind of running into the sculpt with all that, so be careful. Then we get to the diaphragm. So there's a ball joint here, but obviously, like with the sculpt of the figure, you gotta run into that. But we do get some really nice up and a little bit of down. So you do get some range there, and then some really nice curve. So you can come in and out that way. You can actually get a nice C shape or U shape, what have you, depending on the angle you're looking at, because of that, and that's awesome. We are in ball joints here for the hips, and we can get out pretty far, which is really, really nice. One of the things I love about this line, we can rotate back about that far, rotate forward that far. Then we are on ratcheted knees, so we can extend completely, can come to about 90 there. Then we get a ball joint here at the top of the foot. I had to put some shock oil there because mine felt like it was gonna tear, and I really did not want that. So we get some rotation, we get some side to side. I mean, it's actually kind of overly crazy now, so I could probably rein that in, get a little bit of alcohol in there. Then for the feet, this is the one part I'm really disappointed in. I kind of wish they had made the foot a little bit higher and kind of come over this upper part of the foot, because really not getting any range there. We do get a little bit of tilt, but we're again mostly getting it here at the top of the foot. And then we actually have articulated toes and hinges. As you can see, you can bring them down, bring them up. So really nice there. And we get, once again, ball joint, ball joint, ball joint, ball joint. That's where we're getting that curve. No bendy wire in this tail, unfortunately, but some nice range nonetheless. So that will do it for articulation. Getting into size comparisons, here they are with the Hammond Collection Rexy and the Beasts of the Mesozoic 1/35th scale Tyrannosaurus, with some domestics, with some imports, with some monsters. Finally, with yours truly in human form in both 1/18th and 1/12th scale. So my final thoughts on the Zero Set Easy Motion V-Rex Dark Moon Queen and Shadow Monarch figures from Nanmu Studio is that these absolutely rule. Just a lot of stuff I absolutely loved about the Carnotaurus figures from Nanmu Studio's Smart series. I don't know if they're changing that for any reason or if they're just legitimately different approaches, but yeah, they're both amazing. They look exquisite. The articulation is fantastic. You know, there's definitely a little more issues. I had more issues with the joints on these figures, and I think part of that is really just due to the weight of the figures. These are heavy. I'd say these are close to a pound each, which is, you know, impressive for it's solid plastic. So really, really good stuff there. You know, and you know, you might have to mess with the joints a little bit, whether tightening, loosening, etc. Just kind of play around with it and, you know, get into it, which is actually kind of a bonus, I think. You know, obviously you don't want to be putting too much work into your figures, but I think a little bit here and there and kind of getting it to where you want it is part of the joy of some figures. So, pardon me, I'm tired. But in any event, I fully recommend these figures. Certainly, if you're into articulated dinosaurs, if you've always wanted a highly articulated V-Rex, here you go. Nanmu Studios got your back, and yeah, either one or both, just definitely pick them up. They're available from various online retailers, so I wish you the best of luck in picking those up. Also, I just realized I did not put in the size comparisons, I did not compare this to those Carnotauruses that I keep talking about in this video. So I guess follow me on Instagram and or Blue Sky, and I will post that photo at some point, so you can just look at my profile, look at my feed, and you'll see that. So I apologize for that, but I'll make up for that in socials. So yeah, that being said, I hope you found this review informative and somewhat entertaining. If that's the case, I hope to see you back here, because I do multiple reviews a week of action figures related to tokusatsu, dinosaurs, monsters, pro wrestling, and more. So if any of that appeals to you, come on back. Let's talk about some really nice plastic and just escape this world for any amount of time. And yeah, at the end of the day, I really just hope that you're well. I hope that all of your toy dreams come true, and most importantly, I hope that you and yours stay weird, simians.